Hey, I want to talk about printed physical photographs today. It's been on my mind lately. I spent 2 weeks in Estonia in the Copperlake art residency in a dark room, just printing from dawn to dusk, honing and fine-tuning my printing process, both the technical side of it, being more reliable and faster, but even more the artistic side of it. You know, what kind of pictures do I want to print and how do I want to edit them and all that. Then I also released a photo book. Thank you everybody who bought it. And it's also about physical photographs, making them viewable on a concrete media. Now, in this time and age, most photographs are both captured digitally and then shared digitally. And that has changed a lot of things. Now, first of all, the concept of size is no longer valid. Now, when we talk about the size of a digital photograph, we talk about gigabytes or megapixels. But the physical size is no longer in the control of the photographer, unless he or she prints her pictures on paper. Like with a digital picture, you don't have a control on the screen your picture is looked at. What size of the screen does the viewer has? Or maybe there's a window on that screen that can be resized and therefore your picture can be resized. You don't have a control over its resolution. It may be downscaled by Facebook or Instagram, or upscaled by artificial intelligence that invents artificial pixels between your pixels. A photographer does not have a control where the photograph goes anymore. It might end up on a billboard. Somebody stole your picture and put it on the billboard. You know. It may be on the screen of a phone competing with everything else that's happening on the phone. As a wallpaper, you know, somebody puts icons on top of your picture now that it's a wallpaper. You don't know how bright is the screen. It may be really muddy and dark. Therefore, your picture is also muddy and dark. Now, we as photographers in the digital time and age, we have sort of lost this control of the final experience. But today I want to talk about one aspect in particular, and that is the size of the photograph. And what does it mean and how can it change the photograph? Now, before we go any further, let me show you a few pictures right here in our own home of different sizes, and then we go from there. Now all these pictures have their different place and purpose. Like my younger daughter on the wall in a framed picture. That picture has a totally different real estate and usage compared to my firstborn, her picture in my wallet. I love them both dearly, but pictures are totally different because of their size. Now, when we talk about the size of the picture, I find two questions interesting. The first one is, can I hold it in my hands? And then the other one is looking at it a personal experience, or is it something that I share with somebody else? Now, a Japanese photographer, Daidō Moriyama, introduced this idea that I've now used also in a few of my exhibitions. And there you have pictures on the wall, like you would have in any exhibition, but then also a box of photographs in a corner of the gallery. So you have a set of pictures that are publicly viewed, obviously not held in your hand, but then the box of pictures that you can hold in your own hand and go through at your own pace. Public, personal, handheld, on the wall. And based on my own experience, I find it pretty interesting how much the picture changes if you put it on the wall or if you look at it just by yourself, having it in your hands. Now, when you make a picture large, then I think there's typically a reason for that. If you make a picture larger than life, it's louder. It speaks volumes. It is substantial. It owns the room. Pick your metaphor. And when you make your picture a small one, handheld, then you give a viewer a moment with the picture. Just looking at it and experiencing it the way they want, without any kind of external input. But then there is this middle ground that I find fairly interesting. I've lately printed a lot of pictures in the size of 30 by 30 centimeters. And this is clearly a bit challenging what comes to the size. It is a bit too large to be handheld and private. And then on the wall, it's a bit underwhelming. It's not big enough. So it falls sort of in between. So what I do with this kind of a picture is that I frame it properly. I put it in a large frame having a lot of wide areas around it to make it more substantial. Make it clear that it is no longer handheld. It's now something that you experience together with others. It's a public statement. And that's one of the reasons why I hesitate selling my prints without framing them, because I sort of lose this control of the size partially, and since I'm a control freak, I have difficulties to let go. Let me show you another extreme. So this picture is clearly a handheld picture. But what if I challenge that and take this small picture and frame it? Put it in a frame that is clearly supposed to be put on the table or even on the wall. So now once again, the size means something. It was my decision to take it off your hands and put it on the wall or on my piano. Now, as you can see, and that's my whole point, is that it's a pity that we in the digital time have lost the control over the size. Size means a lot. It impacts the viewing experience, the message, and some pictures just work better as private size, and some pictures work much better as public representation. And mixing and matching these gives, once again, very interesting opportunities. So as I'm experiencing it with these and learning with these, my conclusion so far is that size matters. And on that, it's good to end. Thanks for watching. Next time, something else.